If you're in Singapore, you know what's going on. So by now you would have realized what I actually encountered in this video, or what was I going to try and say. And my only question is, will this ever stop? Because we are genuinely so tired. We are just tired, okay? We've heard countless stories from our grandparents, from our parents, and then now us. I just feel kind of sad for us, because we don't deserve this. Okay, this is by no means an attack on any specific group or gender or race or whichever. Okay, I don't even want to mention the word race here. And mind you, I was not going to even share this or speak about this, but I find it's happening very much more common recent times. This is something serious. Okay, I was not going to film this, but I just felt that I need to get it off my chest because it's been bugging me for 2 days. I just wanted to speak up for us minorities. Yeah. So 2 days ago, I actually wasn't well and I went to the polyclinic in my place, and it was pretty late afternoon, so I still haven't had my lunch. I went with my mom, so we just went to the nearest coffee shop from the polyclinic. I'm just sharing my experience, and I'm sure that there's at least one person who can relate with it, because I want to feel better. I wanted to eat something light because obviously I was not well, right? So I wanted to get some Chinese food. I went to this particular shop. The people serving there are the ones who actually speak that language, right? This guy, he was there, and he saw me actually approaching him because I wanted to order, and he actually turned his back. And he was doing something with his walk and all that, okay? It was not crowded. I was the only customer. As I was standing there, like, looking what am I going to choose? What dishes I want to choose. This guy, his back was facing me all the way. Okay? So I thought he was like, okay, generally doing something or like preparing some orders and stuff. So my mom was with me and she called him, okay, hello, because he wanted to order. He didn't turn. And I called him louder. Excuse me, hello. He didn't turn. So obviously, we know that as soon as he saw us approaching them, he turned away. And he saw me approaching him. So I got the picture. He just didn't want to serve us. Not because he doesn't know the language. Even if we are English speaking or whatever, okay? From the same shop, there was another auntie, Chinese auntie. She saw us. We were standing there for pretty good, 3 to 4 minutes. Just looking at him, calling out to him. She spotted it and she ran up to us. She was calling us in Mandarin, like, lai, basically wanting to take our order. And he saw this auntie that's actually calling out to us because obviously she's his co-worker, right? And if you hear your co-worker calling out to a customer, lai, in your own language, you would actually, natural response is to turn around and offer to help, even if you don't know how to help, right? But he didn't. I just told auntie, it's okay. And I just walked off because I am just someone who can't eat from the place that I was insulted in. Sorry. I know that guy could have been like, a bit apprehensive because he's not familiar with our maybe English or whatever he thought, okay? Maybe he didn't have any ulterior or personal agenda towards us. I'm sure I'm not the only non-Chinese customer that you face because it's a residential neighborhood and that coffee shop has been there for like ages, okay? So I'm sure he would have learned by now how to deal with this scenario if basically it's his daily life as a worker in that coffee stall. Basically, if you want to, you would have. For those of you who say that maybe I'm too sensitive, or I basically just assume that this guy might be, he doesn't have tolerance towards other people out of his own group or race. Let me explain to you another scenario I faced. 6 months ago, my house was undergoing HIB renovations, so I had to stay outside. I actually was staying in Changi, and the nearest market and food court there was Changi Village, obviously. So I used to get my lunch, basically my food and everything, necessities from Changi Village. So there was this particular day, I went to get satay. I don't even want to think about it because I was just too affected by it. The stall that I actually get the satay from was pretty crowded. This stall was owned by a young Chinese guy. He's actually nice, and I got like satay a few times from my family and all from his stall. But because he was pretty busy that day, I went to the stall that was located behind his stall, okay? People who have been to Changi Village, you would know like how the stalls are placed. So this particular stall that I went to, it was also pretty crowded, but not as much as the other guys. Like, customers ordering from him, and he was actively taking orders. So naturally, I went and I joined the queue because I saw this uncle taking orders, right? And okay, this uncle is also Chinese. Please don't take what I'm saying as an attack on a particular group of people or particular race and all that, because there's good and bad in everywhere, in anything, in anyone. And I hope this video is not blown out of context, because that is not what I actually meant here. Ugly people are just ugly people. Back to the story. I actually went to queue in this uncle's shop, and I remember very clearly there was this older Chinese gentleman who was placing order of that uncle. There was another Chinese auntie, and behind me there was a young couple. So technically there are already 3 customers in front of me, so I was the 4th. So I was standing right outside the uncle's shop, and guess what happened? This uncle took orders from the 3 other customers and he left me standing there. So I thought, okay, maybe uncle is busy and maybe he's overwhelmed, you know, he needs to cater to other customers first because they were also doing the pickup service. So I just waited there. You wouldn't believe me, this uncle, he packed all the satays for the other customers. He left it outside at the table, some of it which he actually handed himself to the customer, and he walked back into the shop. So I was thinking, okay, he will actually come attend to me and take my orders. So I was standing there for a good 10 minutes. There were also customers who came after me, and this uncle went to take their orders. Obviously, it was from other Chinese customers. Okay, there's no way that this person could not see me, is because for my height, 178 cm, and for a lady that tall, I'm definitely an eyesore to a lot of people who are standing there. So he went back to his stall and he started grilling the satays. And mind you, at least for my first story, that guy was facing, his back was facing me, but for this uncle, right, he was just at the side. Technically, even at the corner of his eye, and I've been standing outside his stall, like, you know, obstructing him for like a good 10 minutes. There's no way that he didn't see me. I was just standing there to see how far this goes. By that time, the other customers who came after me, they actually realized what was going on. They were mumbling something to themselves, because I think they kind of felt that I was standing there hoping for this uncle to take my order, whereas they have already been served. And I could see that they kind of actually felt bad for me. I still remember his face very clearly. I wouldn't even want to call him uncle again. This man, he was standing there grilling his satay. By the time I think I was standing there for a good 20 minutes, you know. For the entire time, this man, he did not even look at my face. He did not even look at me, even by chance or mistakenly. And by the time I was already so furious, and internally I was just trying not to lose it, because I was on the verge of tears, because I've never felt so humiliated like that before. Yeah, I mean, you can say that I actually pushed my luck to stand there and like wait for the uncle to serve me, knowing that I was being humiliated, but that's not the point here. So by now you would have actually figured out what am I trying to say. So in the end, what happened was, I could see that the other customers were actually feeling bad for me, but no one actually approached the uncle to say like, hey, you know, take this girl's order and all, because obviously who would want that? And what if the uncle just straight up say no? Yeah, after a good 20 minutes, what I did was, I walked off from his shop and I went to go and order from the shop that was opposite the first guy who was actually nice to me. I placed my orders with him. And I felt so good because I was welcomed by him. Sorry to say, he was also from the same race, but he treated me much more better. I'm not asking for any special privileged treatment here, but treat me as a human, you know. I'm sure that many of us actually relate to this kind of experiences, because if it doesn't change with us, when would it ever change? Would it ever change? We're just honestly tired. First thing, we are so used to it. Secondly, we are just so tired. Like, when will this ever stop? Will this ever stop? Is there a solution for this? Because we've heard countless and countless and countless stories from our grandparents, our parents, and then now us. So I don't want my future generation to suffer like this. I love my country. I love being a Singaporean. And whichever background you come from, please refrain from doing such things. Treat each other as humans, okay? Life is already hard enough, and we don't need this kind of things to actually ruin what we've built over these past 50 to 60 years. I sincerely hope that we can teach our future generation to not participate in such behaviors. At the same time, do not swipe these kind of behaviors under the carpet, because please do not forget that we are also one of y'all. And mind you, I was not going to even share this or speak about this, but I thought I was like, okay, you know what, that's another typical day in my life. But I didn't expect this to actually bug me for a good 2 to 3 days now. But I sincerely hope you get my point. Nobody's above or beneath each other. Thank you so much if you stayed till the end of this video, and good day everyone.